to Abhishek Jha joining us live from Samarkand. But before that, what Prime Minister Narendra Modi told the world via the SCO.
SCO की भूमिका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। SCO को हमारे क्षेत्र में विश्वस्त, रेजिलिएंट और डाइवर्सिफाइड सप्लाई चेन्स विकसित करने के लिए प्रयत्न करने चाहिए। इसके लिए बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी की आवश्यकता तो होगी ही, साथ ही यह भी महत्वपूर्ण होगा कि हम सभी एक दूसरे को ट्रांजिट का पूरा अधिकार दें। हम भारत को एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बनाने पर प्रगति कर रहे हैं। इस वर्ष भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था में 7.5% वृद्धि की आशा है, जो विश्व की बड़ी इकोनॉमीज में सबसे अधिक होगी। आज भारत में 70,000 से अधिक स्टार्टअप्स हैं, जिनमें से 100 से अधिक यूनिकॉर्न है। भारत एक नए SCO वर्किंग ग्रुप ऑन ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन पर पहल लेगा।
Abhishek Jha now joining us live at this point. Abhishek, let's get to the current moment. When is the engagement with President Vladimir Putin happening, and is there a bilateral with Xi Jinping?
So as per the schedule that was provided to us, the meeting must be underway with President Putin and Prime Minister Modi. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi did, in a surprise move, held a bilateral meeting with his Turkish counterpart, President Erdogan. And that was quite a surprise because this was not scheduled, this was not told by us. But we have seen footages where it was a proper formal talk that both the leaders have held. Prime Minister had a meeting that will be after this Putin's meeting. He'll be having a bilateral talk with his Uzbeki counterpart, Shavkat Mirziyoyev. That will be followed by one of the major highlights of the day, a meeting with Iranian counterpart, President Ibrahim Raisi. What will be the key agenda that these leaders will be discussing? This will be important to wait for, because we will get to know about the details, whether those bilateral agreements or bilateral discussion happened on what all topics, only after the meeting that takes place around 6 o'clock in the evening.
Well, Abhishek, I'm going to stay with you and quickly understand what was discussed between the two leaders. What are we given to understand was the key matter discussed between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Erdogan? And what is going to be top of the agenda in this current meeting that you're saying is already underway between India and Russia?
So what transpired in the meeting between President Erdogan and Prime Minister Modi has not been revealed in a very detailed manner, but we do know that Prime Minister himself had tweeted that they held a meeting where the bilateral relations and the deepening of his the bilateral ties were discussed. We know that President Erdogan had visited India in 2017, where he had met Prime Minister Modi also, and India and Turkey have been trading with each other at a very good growth rate. The growth rate of bilateral trade is somewhere around 13% to 14%, and about $7 billion worth of trade is happening between the two countries. They both are trying to take this further upward at a very high pace. Turkey can provide India with a lot of high-tech, high-end technology in space, construction, naval manufacturing, electronic equipment, while India is supplying with a lot of agricultural commodities to Turkey. So, going by the needs of each other, both can become a very good partner. Talking about India and Russia bilateral ties, we have seen how India has tried to create a balance and not got bullied by the Western bloc influence against Russia in the context of Russia-Ukraine war. And for that, India said there has been a long-term strategic and long-standing strategic relationship with Russia, and that also needs to be respected, and that also needs to be put in context when we try to redefine the relationship with any country in the context of the latest development that is happening in Russia and Ukraine. So that was one context, and we've also seen that in the recent weeks, India has started importing a lot of fuel from Russia, gas. So what will be the takeaways in that meeting? We'll have to wait for that also.
Right. Abhishek, just stay on with us. We got lots of developments coming through, but Swasti Rao is with us. Swasti Rao, let's talk Turkey first. One of the key concerns for India is Turkish agenda vis-a-vis India. business trade on the one hand, but there is also Turkish involvement in trying to spin narratives and stories. So there is a concern there. There is also the presence of operatives. Yes, the Turkish authorities seem to have cracked down on Al-Qaeda and IS operatives, Daesh operatives on Turkish soil, but they are all operating from there. A lot of the social media propaganda against India is emerging from Turkey. A lot of the funding to radical elements who are present on Indian soil is emerging from Turkey. So can India actually engage with Turkey when we know that Turkey, China, Pakistan are actually the axis against India?
Well, right. Good evening, Anand. And yeah, I'm glad you took this up, because I think a large part of what we've been discussing about the SCO has only been repetitions of what we've been seeing there, etc. And I'm glad this particular point has come up. You see, in a very clear expression of what I feel about the India-Turkey relations, you see, India, plain and simple, needs to engage Turkey, despite knowing the limitations, is because the kind of an brotherly equation that Turkey has been showing on Pakistan and Pakistan has been showing to Turkey, right? So this India's outreach to Turkey has several. See, Turkey considers India a friend, but Turkey considers Pakistan a brother. So that's clearly there is an Islamic agenda there. There's little that we can do. We are in no mood. I don't think the current dispensation is under any mood to go in for such, meaningless appeasement. So I don't think that is on the cards. But what is on the cards is that if you are willing to put forward one constructive step, we are willing to put forward, or we are willing to reciprocate it with two forward steps. Right. So that is perhaps what we are trying to do with Turkey, is that we are trying to engage Turkey. Let's see, even in terms of, Turkey has a policy of supplying weapons to Asia and, especially South Asia. And you'll be surprised to know that most of the weapons are going to Pakistan. Their Hisar missiles are going to Bangladesh. So Turkey is also picking up, Islamic countries within South Asia to supply its weapons. I mean, India does not really have that, so to say, that priority in Turkey's designs. But having said that, what makes sense definitely is to engage Turkey and see if they are willing to sort of, it takes two to tango. If they're willing to come forward, we should be trying to, reciprocate as well. But limitations notwithstanding, I mean, I'm not very hopeful of that. Yeah.
But in this case, can India walk that path with Turkey? Because the India-Turkey engagement, tourism-wise, etc., is very strong. But despite the concerns, the security aspect, the fact that within the OIC also it's the Turkish bloc or the Erdogan-led bloc that is trying to wrest control or seize control from the more amiable, friendly Saudi grouping, is that also not a concern, Swasti Rao? So how does India negotiate that? I'll come to Russia in just a bit, but Turkey, China, Pakistan axis is critical.
Well, yes, definitely. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. That, the thing is that if you look at Turkey, China, Pakistan axis, the least, so to say, the least problems that we have with any country is Turkey, right? So even looking at it commonsensically, it makes all the more sense. See, we are trying to deepen our ties with UAE. There's been a historic I2U2. So India's approach towards the West Asian region as well has been undergoing a radical shift from, earlier times. Okay. So, I mean, it is focusing much more on national interest and much more on how the current geopolitics is turning out. So I think similarly in Turkey, like you rightly said, that if you look at the Turkey, China, Pakistan, Iran, so to say, that kind of an axis, obviously there are two clear-cut powers that we try to engage much more constructively than the other two. One definitely is Iran. And, Iran, we've been talking about so much. And one of the reasons why India is at SCO today is to engage Iran. We want to make Chabahar a part of the INSTC as well. And the second is Turkey. Like I said, that, we need to engage Turkey for, containing as much as possible, our arch rival and the Spain in the neck, which is Pakistan, and all the terror activities coming from there. Trying and also, and let me also tell you, Anand, about another thing that is usually not really, talked about, which is that if you even look at the Turkish stand in the Russia-Ukraine crisis, okay, it has been pretty much that of a balancer, okay? So similarly, like India, so I think that is also one area on which, like, for example, Turkey says that we are a NATO member, but we have good relations with both Russia and Ukraine, especially with Ukraine. They've had, they've been supplying, a lot of weapons. So they have also been treading a very, very fine balance between NATO and, Russia and, Ukraine and all of that. So that is also one thing that kind of India understands. So in terms